What's up, Death Dolls?
Hey, y'all.
Thank you guys for joining us here on Makeup&Murder, the YouTube channel where we talk health, wellness, and beauty, and we also bring you 2 very true crime stories. I'm Nicky Nelson.
And I'm Mocha Pennington.
And I guess we're here doing this shit. Who feels like it's been way too long?
Like, honey, because it has been.
It's been way too... I feel like we did put a video out 2 weeks ago. But also, I just feel like it's been way too long since we sat here with the girls, with the dolls, and had a conversation.
A little bit of healthy murder. It's been a while, hasn't it?
What have you guys been up to? Did anyone make New Year's resolutions? And how are those coming along? If you made them, share with us in the comments below what your New Year's resolution was and how it's coming along. Are we still on track? Are we still bad bitches? Are we still doing what we need to do? Let us know in the comments below. Mocha, how the fuck you been?
I've been well. You should know. How have you been?
It's just...
Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys, girl. Peaks and valleys. It's just ups and downs. How do they say? You take it just one day at a time?
Mm-hmm.
You take
one pill at a time, whichever.
Whichever, tickles your pickle, as my little sister says. Very age appropriate.
Yes.
She's a hoot. Just love her. Guess what?
What?
I think it is actually... What, bitch? It's your turn to go first, you psycho. Yeah, wait. We don't have a theme this week. Because my story is actually a story where there has been a break or a recent development, and it just kind of came out of nowhere after years of stagnation. So it's so unique. I didn't think that we could fit a theme around it. So I was just like, you know what? Mocha, let's do something really crazy, okay? Let's just, fuck it. Who cares about the theme? Let's just get really wild.
Exactly. I liked it, though. I like not having a theme. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah. Because, we could just, I don't know. So you guys let us know how you feel about this. We're just going to, shoot it out there, do it, let the fur fly, get a little wild.
Get a little silly.
God. Spring break, who? And let's do this shit. So,
and this wasn't our outfits weren't planned, by the way.
Oh no! Once again, we're the Bootsy twins on accident.
Okay.
We literally do not wake up in the morning and say, you know what?
You know what we're gonna do?
Let's do Destiny's Child 1999.
Okay.
And let's just see what comes of it.
Latavia and Latoya.
Who's Latavia?
You know you're Latavia, sweetie.
Oh, Farrah. Really? Okay, that's fine. Whatever. So.
All right, Matthew Knowles.
You know what? Poor Michelle. Okay. What do we have here today? What are you doing? First off, so how did you even pick? Because you had, not that Mocha ever sticks to the fucking theme anyway.
I tried to.
Oh, my ass. My ass.
That one story was halfway through, and I was like, wait. How does this have anything to do with revenge?
Nothing. So, you had free range. How did you go about your selection process this week?
I just clicked, gruesome murders, women killers.
Okay.
And she popped up, and I was like, oh, okay.
All right, well, you know what? Let's get into it.
Well, before we do that.
Oh, yeah.
I have some products to talk about.
Okay.
Let me start with the book first. All right, I recommend this book, The Rust Maidens by Gwendolyn Christie, y'all.
Let's get up in there.
That book, it is so good. It won a Bram Stoker Award, which is for...
Explain to them what that is.
It's for horror writers. It's winning a Grammy.
It's a Grammy.
Yeah. So there's this cul-de-sac in this small town, and the girls, they start changing. They start changing. They don't.
You telling me about this.
They don't know what's happening. They bring in the government and doctors. They're like, well, honey, we don't know what's going on, and they start isolating the girls. It's so good, y'all. Pick it up, and she's a fantastic writer.
How big is the font?
The font isn't too big.
Oh, just 12 point. How many pages?
I think it's $250 actually.
I hit you up when they make a movie.
$250. And actually, she wrote the foreword to the one that got away, the book that my short story's in.
Oh.
She wrote the foreword to her.
Nice.
She sure did.
Okay. What's the forward?
It's like,
I'm just asking the question.
It's like an introduction.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's like introducing the book.
Nice.
Now for makeup, what I'm wearing on my eyes today, which I'm very happy to talk to you guys about, but I'm not too thrilled with the shade names because, you know, I'm horrible with pronouncing names, period.
Yeah, and Lil Mama thought she was going to pawn it off on
like,
me.
So you're going to help me, and you was like, no, honey.
I'm certainly not going to attempt.
Because I don't like to
butcher.
Offend anyone.
Yeah.
Because these are like...
Traditional probably names.
Yeah. Our girl Sharita from Sharita Explains It All. She did a review on these palettes as well, and she pronounced the names, I thought, very
really
well. So I'm going to link her video in the description box.
Oh, that is passing the buck, just like Mama taught us. Yes.
All right. These two, they came with 3, but I was only able to get these 2, which I was sad about, but honey, they're good.
Yeah.
All right, now I call this one the red one because I can't pronounce the Red Queen. I'll call it.
Yeah.
Is
that not what it's called? Nope. You're sure right. Nope.
These are by Mira Cosmetics, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I totally forgot to say that.
So good.
And I think there's 3 members in the staff, and each of them are from different ethnicities. One's from China, one's from India, the one's from Africa. So they base their palettes around where they're from.
Yeah.
This is the African palette, the Red Queen. I can't pronounce that.
Yeah.
Y'all, okay, she's loved, y'all. Hold on, let me go look at this. So y'all can't see. Y'all can look at me, Annie. Y'all, she's loved. I'm wearing the bottom row on my eyes.
The entire bottom row? The
entire bottom row. Because
Gotcha.
I thought that it would be easier for you to pronounce them, but apparently you're not going to help me.
Wait, you picked your eye colors around what you thought I could pronounce?
Yeah, on the bottom row. In my outfit.
Turns out I can't pronounce none of it. That's
now,
funny.
I will say, the pressed glitters, I like them a lot. I'm wearing the pressed glitter on my eye. Like, whenever you swatch it, honey, they don't swatch too good. Whenever you swatch it, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You gotta press it in with your finger and then use, a flat brush. To tap that shit in, honey, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's it's yellow, obviously, but it has, reflex of orange and green in it. It's gorgeous.
That's cool.
These eyeshadows, they're blendable. They're good. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And the other one, I'll just show y'all. Because why the hell not?
I think she probably calls this one the yellow one.
And I like these colors a lot.
Yeah.
I can't decide which one's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I like them both a lot. I use both of them at least twice a week.
Yeah, it's obviously well loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both well loved. Yeah. They're out of stock as of right now.
Both of those?
Both of them.
Okay.
But they're going to restock at the end of this month, March.
Nice.
So y'all, I'm going to put the links down anyways. Y'all snatch them up and support them like an indie brand, an indie makeup brand that just started off.
How cool is that? Do you remember how it felt to be new or just starting in? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this isn't our first channel. This is our second channel. So we're new over here, but we've been on the YouTube game for a cool little 2 years.
Yeah, that's
trust me, honey. It has not been a crystal stair.
No,
it's not exactly been the easiest.
Yeah.
But you know what? I hope people always give them love because they've always shown support. They've always been
definitely
super
have.
cool. And from the looks that I see you pull with those palettes, it's good stuff.
I love them. Yeah. Amazing palette, amazing quality.
Yeah. All right, tickle the ivories, Rose. What do you got for us?
All right, I'm about to tell y'all a little bit about Omaima Nelson. I named it, subtitled, Pretty Deadly.
You love doing that part, don't you? Isn't that your favorite part?
It's one of my favorite parts.
You're just the only part you like is I get to subtitle.
I get to put the subtitle. It's my favorite part. If I can just... And then just not tell any stories, just put subtitles.
You know what would be so fun? Once we get the budgets one day, we'll have your subtitles flash on the screen. And it'll be nice.
Trickling with blood.
Yeah. That's how you'll know we've made it. That's how you'll know we've got the budgets. We've got, what it takes.
Well, let's hope so.
Well,
One of these
another
days.
5 years.
Okay, another 10. Here we go. All right. Omaima Nelson was born and raised in a poor farming community in Egypt, or village, I'm sorry, in Egypt.
Okay.
Among this small village, her father was known to be bad-tempered and very violent.
Oh.
So I assume him being like a horrible person was like the reason why him and his wife got a divorce.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
they're divorced.
They're divorced.
Okay.
And then she brought Omaima to come live with her.
Okay.
They lived in they lived in Cairo. It's like an area called the City of the Dead, which, you know, you would think it sounds like, oh, this is fun. Well,
you think it sounds fun?
At least I would think so.
I don't want to live in a place called the City of the Dead.
I would like it. But
I'm sure you would.
Well, it was a very poor place, if you're gonna tell. They got the name because, like, they literally, like, the 500,000 people that lived there were just surrounded by, it's a cemetery, like, graves. There's like a grave in the person's backyard.
Why would you want to continue living there?
I guess it was affordable.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you know
'cause
what?
they
You remember that time we lived in almost the projects?
Oh, honey.
Remember that?
Because it was affordable.
Because it was affordable, you got thousands of feet of square footage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest apartment in town. It only costs $400 a month.
Each.
Yeah, no,
No,
it wasn't each.
it wasn't.
It was together.
Yes.
It was $425 all together. And we split them.
Yes. We were still struggling.
You know, maybe we should go back. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I did get held up at gunpoint one time.
Yes.
So that wasn't great.
Yes.
I thought it was a joke, actually. I was like,
It's like, no, this is actually real. Okay.
oh. Anyway, Omaima. Sorry, y'all.
So it's no surprise that Omaima wanted a better life for herself.
Absolutely.
She was like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to do something. And she saw an opportunity for her in 1986, and she was 18 years old, and she met a American oil worker who was on business over there.
Okay.
She started dating him, honey. Her family also.
Was he a colonizer?
I mean, he could have been. I don't know. He doesn't have a name. That's how unimportant he is.
Oh, he's not even important to this story. Got it. My bad.
But her family, it was like, oh, honey. They were so excited.
Yeah.
They said, y'all need to get married. Go ahead, girl. Get him. Get him.
Yeah.
She said, okay. So they got married. And then once they were married, he brought her back to Texas. Like, after his job in Egypt ended, he brought
her to Texas.
Okay,
Cool.
they moved there. But after they arrived there,
Yeah.
they got a divorce.
Oh.
There was no reason why. I mean, I'm
Pretty
sure.
She's like, you served your purpose, my fine sir. Like, you've done what needed to be done.
Yeah.
I'm here now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And he was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Bye.
Sounds
Bye, Omaima. So her English wasn't, like, very good.
Okay.
Because, you know, it's, like, her second language.
Yeah.
So, like, she was there in Texas by herself.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like, honey.
Okay.
So she used her beauty as a way to, like, lure men in. She'll go to, like, bars, honey, you know, park up, and she'll, like, meet guys, and then they'll invite her to come live with her.
Absolutely.
And then she'll stay with them for a month or two, maybe 3.
Perfect.
And she's like, okay, bye.
A girl's got to get on her feet.
And it was like a pattern. She kept this up. She took it on the road, too, honey. She ended up in Orange County, California.
Oh.
This young.
A traveling
She's
show.
a showgirl.
Perfect. I like her. First of all, she's got moxie. She's got drive. She's already split out of Egypt.
Okay.
Got to Dallas, or got to Texas, and now she's in Orange County.
Yeah.
She knows how to get a bag. Okay.
Well, obviously, the OC isn't very, like, cheap. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So she, like, worked as a nanny, a housekeeper, and occasionally she'll book modeling gigs too, honey. She's a working girl. One night while at a bar in October of 1991, Omaima met 56-year-old pilot Bill Nelson.
Okay.
Honey, you know she saw dollar signs and she saw him, honey.
She not dumb.
Okay. She's like, honey, I've been struggling for a minute.
Yeah.
She saw him. She's like, oh, yes, honey. Here we go. And he's originally from Texas.
Yeah.
He was described as very vibrant, larger-than-life personality. He was often seen wearing cowboy boots and those huge bell buckles. So he was obviously Republican.
Yes.
I don't know.
Drain him, sis. sis. Do what must be done.
And he would like boast about how much money he has. He had like several businesses, including a cattle ranch.
Mm-hmm.
He also had 5 children and 17 grandchildren. But honey, that didn't matter to 23-year-old Omayma. I had to coach myself to say her name because it was very difficult. Because it's not, but it is. 'Cause, you know, with me, I'm just bad with names. Everyone should just be called Janet.
Everyone's Janet. Janet 1, Janet 2.
It was said that Bill became more youthful when he was around Omayma, and the two appeared to be like smitten with each other. Like they couldn't keep their hands off each other, honey. They were cuddling and kissing, just giggling. They was like, this is so cute.
Wow, the bills are getting paid.
Okay. Within 4 weeks of meeting, the two went on a road trip to Texas and Arkansas so Omayma could meet his family.
Mm-hmm.
But before they went on the road trip, they stopped in Phoenix, Arizona to get married, honey. Mm-hmm. You know, Bill's children, all who are older than Omayma, you know, they didn't like her too much. At first, they were like, honey, I don't know.
What a stereotype.
I do not know. Okay.
Classic stereotype. The kids didn't want anything more out of life. They didn't want to be like, you know what? Let's not be stereotypes. Let's give the broad a chance.
And he said, no.
Nope.
She's too young for you, honey. But they all went horseback riding, and then Omayma was bucked off the horse, and she fell on the ground, honey. And people was like, the family was like, "Come on, we need to get you medical attention, bring you to a hospital." She said, "Honey, give me a shot of vodka." She took a shot of vodka, got back on the horse, and they were like, "Okay, we fuck with this bitch."
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Yes, like her.
Yeah, they was like, okay. So they liked her after that.
Right.
By Thanksgiving, the two had settled back into Bill's Orange County apartment. Mm-hmm. Bill spoke to his daughter on the phone.
Oh, he's still renting? No, I'm just, okay. That's a choice.
He talked to his daughter.
I mean, he got all these businesses and all this money.
Well.
And he's renting?
I mean.
I rent, you know, but I'm broke. So.
Shit, so it's a given.
Okay, Bill.
Do you? By Thanksgiving, they settled back in his apartment, and Bill was speaking to his daughter on the phone, and he was telling her, like, I am so happy with Omayma. Like, I love her so much.
They done fell in love.
When was the last time he'll ever speak to his daughter? I don't know if that's true or not, but like, it's so dramatic. But I don't know, though, like, that probably
could have been the last time he talked to his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Jose was surprised to find Omayma banging on his front door early in the morning. The two have dated, they went on a few dates before, but, you know, it led to nothing because he really didn't have too much money.
Right, so Omayma was like, you ain't got nothing for me, champ.
And she said, honey, I done murdered Bill and I need you to help me dispose of his body. Yeah, she said, honey, Bill, he tied me to the damn bed. He spent days, like, beating and raping me and torturing me. Like, she managed to escape. Like, once her arm got free, she was able to hit him in the head with the lamp. Mm-hmm. It was hard enough to kill him. And she wanted to make sure that he was dead. His, like, like, checking his, like, pulse and everything, like, it wasn't enough.
That wasn't enough.
She needed to make sure. So she, like, cut him up in pieces. And then she put him in garbage bags. Yeah, and then she asked Jose to help her, like, dispose of the garbage bags. Apparently, he had a large truck or something that made the bags easier to move.
So, just what for Omayma says, you know, let's include somebody else in this, right?
Well,
like, let's just make this, you know, two's a crowd. You know, let's shoot for more.
Well, he kept telling her, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, girl, no.
Also, I'm going to go tell the cops. Not to your face. I'm not going to tell you that I'm telling the cops. But as soon as you leave. Okay. Because I'm not trying to end up like old Bill there in garbage bags. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, okay, girl, so here's the plan. You go where Bill is. Okay. And then, because, you know, girl, you showed up early in the morning. I got to take a shower. I can't come help you dispose of bodies, and I still got, you know, morning bread.
Yes.
So you go, and ping me with your location. I will meet you there. And then I'm calling the police, girl.
He kept telling her no. She was like, I'll give you $75,000, honey. He was like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, why not? And so he was like, okay, honey, well, I'm about to go get my truck. You stay here. I'm about to go get my truck. We about to get rid of Bill. But you know, he went to the damn payphone. He's a lying-ass jerk, ain't he? He went to the payphone and was like, okay, I'll come to my apartment.
Yeah.
I have someone who just said that.
They killed someone, yeah.
So the police showed up to his apartment. They saw Omaima. She was looking distraught. And she had like bruises all over her arms and face and her breast, which appeared like they matched her story from appearances. It was like, I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah.
But Omaima, she was like confused when the police showed up. She was like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what's happening? They're like, Jose called us and said that you done murdered your husband. And she was like, what? What are you talking about? Bill's on business trip in Florida, honey. I don't know what you were talking about. But they asked for her to contact him. She's like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I don't have no contact information or anything, honey, but I don't know. What are you talking about? He's in Florida. Jose's acting a damn fool. And obviously, like, they weren't too convinced. So, like, she drove a red Corvette over there. So they was, like, looking inside of it, and there was, like, a bag. And there was, like, a box with a bag in it or something. And there was, like, well, this is odd, honey. What's everything that they reached in and they,
oh my
hell. So the police officer, they reached in, they was like, oh, shit, it was an organ, honey. It was a damn organ. Sure was. So after they saw that, they were like, okay, girl, I think you need to go to the police station with us. We're going to ask you some questions, you know. So Omaima, she like paced around the interrogation room, honey. She was like rambling, talking to the third person. She started denying that Bill was dead. She was like, honey, he is alive. Like, he's not dead, he's alive.
Yeah. And
they asked her about like the human organs in the red Corvette, and she told him that she was like, honey, I think Bill done killed someone, if I'm honest. I'm being for real. Bill done killed someone, yo. Because he was on probation. Bill was.
Bill was?
Yeah, because he spent 4 years in jail because he's a pilot, and he was like trafficking like marijuana, weed, pot, whatever you guys call it nowadays. So it was like he was trafficking it. So they were like, okay, well, you know, you need to go to jail. So he spent 4 years in jail, but she was like, no, honey, but like he did that, but like Bill's a horrible person. He was like raping women and all this.
Wait, really?
I mean, that's what Omaima told them.
Oh.
She was like, he's horrible.
Oh.
Yeah. She was like, honey, he like tied her to the bed and abused her.
Yeah. But he really didn't do any of that?
I mean, hold on now.
Okay. All right. Because I'm just...
Yeah, she told him the same story that she told Jose about her being tied to the bed and being abused.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, honey, he's been tied me to the bed. He's been abusing me. You know, he's in business in Florida. So, you know, I can't...
I can't call him.
I can't call him.
He doesn't have a phone.
Yeah, and y'all, why are you listening to Jose? He's addicted to acid, honey. He's a liar, too. So, I don't know why you listening to him. But apparently, like, he was, like...
addicted to acid.
I want to say, I don't know if he was addicted, but he was a drug user. Yeah,
okay.
he messed around with that
Some substance abuse issues.
Yeah, gotcha. So they was like, okay. So they brought her to the hospital so they can examine her. Because she said that she's been, like, raped and abused. So they was like, well, we need to, like, examine you.
Right.
And while Omaima was, like, being interrogated by the police, you know, another group of police officers were dispatched to the apartment that they shared, honey. And when they first walked in, like, the inside was, like, cluttered. There was, like, boxes everywhere, computer boxes and computer parts, because one of his businesses where he would, like, remodel computers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there was, like, a lot of that everywhere. So at first it just looked like...
junky.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
But then they started to, like, find, like, drops of blood in, like, sporadic places. So it's like, well, this is weird. And, like, the more they started searching, like, they would see, like, a carpet, pretty much like a blood puddle in the carpet. And it was like, wow, like, something done happened here.
This isn't normal.
So let's look inside these boxes, though. Honey, there was trash bags in it. They opened it up, and There was body parts inside. They also found a bloodied lamp and clothing inside, or a clothing iron. I don't know what that is. I don't know
clothing iron?
I don't know what it is.
Death Dolls, do you know what a clothing iron is? Does anybody want to, like, help us?
They found that inside one of the boxes.
Yeah.
They went in the kitchen. Honey, they found hands. Bill's hands in the frying pan floating. Burnt up, honey.
So she's been cooking them?
Stop. And then in the freezer, his damn head.
No way.
His head was around.
No way.
Frozen bags of peas and carrots.
It's always peas.
And sausage, and then there was his head. But they think it was because I guess you put him in the deep fryer.
His head?
His head. So, like, they assumed, because, it was all burnt up. So, like, they assumed it was his head. I mean, later on, with the DNA matches, it was him. Yeah. So, they went to the bedroom, and, like, there was, like...
Omaima!
she acted a damn fool, didn't she? So, they went in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And then it looked like someone had been, like, tied up to the bed. Because, the headboard was, like broken. And, like, the mattress was, like, soaked through with blood. So was their sheets. So, like, there was, like, someone did it. But we don't think it was Omaima that was tied up. And someone wasn't, not her.
Right.
So, back at the hospital, Omaima went to the hospital because she was being examined. Yeah. And they came back negative for, like, any forced entry or anything. When the police told them about what they found at her apartment, she was like, okay, fine, I killed him. Like, I killed him, but I don't remember doing it. And there was, like, something inside me that was telling me to kill him, like a demon. And she told him, like...
The old demon claws, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, obviously, they booked her. She's like, okay,
you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
And the medical examiners confirmed that Bill had been beaten before being dismembered. The dismemberment was done, like, so professionally. They were like, has she done this before? And so they had to look in her past because it was like, yeah, this is, like, very, very well done. So they discovered that she was arrested a few times for shoplifting. And
what girl isn't?
They came across a guy named Robert Hansen who Omaima dated before she started dating Bill. Honey. Okay. And according to Robert, he willingly allowed her to tie him to the bed because they were into, like, that type of stuff. Or he was, yeah. So he was like, yeah, you can tie me to the bed.
Yeah.
And then when she did, she done pulled out a gun, honey. She was like, you better give me some damn money. She was like demanding money from him. He got free somehow, like struggled to get the gun out of her hand. He was like, okay, honey, you got to get out.
Yeah, you need
you need to get the hell out. We're done, obviously. But he never reported it because he was, like, a little bit embarrassed. He was like, yeah, I was kind of, humiliated, so.
I never said anything because I was really embarrassed.
Her trial began nearly a year after she was arrested on December 1st, 1992. It came out during the trial that I hated, like, reading this part or finding out about this part because it was really sad.
Yeah.
But it came out during the trial that as a child in Egypt, Omaima underwent female genital mutilation, also known as, like, female circumcision. Yeah. They do that, like, in Africa.
Yeah.
Is
there a point?
I don't know the exact points, but I think because, like, in some countries, like, women are meant to be, like, submissive to their men.
Yeah.
So they cut off their clitoris so they won't be able to get any, like, sexual pleasure from sex. So it actually hurts.
Yeah.
So I think that they feel like we're not allowed to feel, like, pleasure. Only our men are.
Oh.
Yeah. So she had that done when she was, like, a little girl. I think they usually do that, like, whenever their kids.
Yeah.
From, like, village women. They didn't, like, sterilize the stuff. There was just... They weren't clean.
Yeah.
It was very, like, traumatic.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So she said that, like, and she said that she was beaten, like, with a lot of male members in the family like beat her almost every day and like raped her throughout her 18 years in Egypt. And she like came here, like Bill's abuse like triggered her childhood trauma.
Yeah.
So she was like, that's like, she snapped and she murdered him.
Yeah.
That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
Like during their trial, Omayma stood firm that she like believed that something that came inside her, honey, and like made her kill Bill. I'm sorry, just the rhyme. I didn't mean to laugh. That something came inside of her and made her kill Bill.
Yeah.
She was firm on it.
Yeah.
But you know, they were like, she went to jail for second-degree murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the first degree; it was the second degree. I guess there was the jury couldn't decide. They were arguing. Like there was one juror, I forgot his name. He was in the documentary I watched. It was a weird name actually. I think it was like Famous Hook, if I'm honest. Yeah, that was his name. And he was like, she's just been through so much as like a child. Like I feel like that she did snap.
Yeah.
Which, you know, she could have.
Yeah.
But you know, she went to jail. She's been sentenced for 27 years in prison. While in prison, Omayma met an elderly man who came to visit her. He saw her on the news. He was like, oh, okay, hold on. So he started visiting her, and then they got married, and then he died, and he left her like a good chunk of money. So like even in prison, honey, she was having men take care of her.
Yeah.
She was eligible for parole in 2006 and 2011, but she was denied. She'll be eligible in 2026. They said because she didn't like admit like the killing, or she admits to killing him, but like she was like, well, there's something inside me. Like that's like she's firm on that.
Yeah.
It was like, honey, we don't feel like you should be among
the regular population until you can admit to what you did and take accountability.
And her psychologist is like, she felt like she didn't belong in jail. Like she believes she could be like in a mental hospital. Yeah. Because she was treatable. Yeah. They felt like they could help her. Yeah. But they were like, no, honey, bring her to jail.
Yeah. That is so... I'm torn. Mm-hmm. I'm torn with how to feel about it because it's just like, you know, on the one hand, you know, it's like a terrible thing. You can't cut people's hands off and put them in the frying pan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. But also, you shouldn't be mutilating young girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that trauma can, like, obviously. Yeah. It's not great.
Not at all.
It doesn't end up well.
I hated it. Whenever I read it, I was like, oh, God. Like, I didn't want to look too deeply into it because that stuff like that, like, really disturbs me. Yeah, yeah. But, like, that was just my opinion and my take on it. Like, I don't know that for a fact. That's why they do that.
Yeah. So if you guys have a take on that that's not too gruesome, you know, let us know in the comments below, but keep it cute. We don't, you know, we like to keep things light as possible when we deal with topics such as murder. Yeah. So...
Despite us giggling.
Yeah, you know, maybe a giggle or two in there. You know, listen, laughter is nature's medicine. You guys, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Hey, Death Dolls. Hope you guys are enjoying Makeup and Murder. If so, check us out on Tea Time, a YouTube channel where we talk about YouTube drama in all of its dirty little essence. Link in the description box. Okay, guys, back to the show. All right, Death Dolls, we are back from break, and boy, do I've got a story for you.
Excited.
Before we pop into the story, though, let's talk some health, wellness, fitness stuff, right? So you guys know that we quit smoking January 1st, 2021. It was the best of times. It is the worst of times. There are struggles. It's fantastic most days, but there are things that people don't tell you about. So if you guys are, you know, smokers, vapors, nicotine product users, and you are considering quitting yourself, there's some things that I would like you to just keep in mind. First off, about 3 months in, about 2.5, 3 months in, I started doing this little thing. It's great. Trying to apparently take my teeth at night and grind them into powder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was apparently trying to grind my teeth into powder.
Because you ain't got no cigarettes.
Probably. I don't know what it is, but apparently they call it bruxism. It's not great. So, mouth guard. They work pretty well. My only problem with the mouth guard is every now and then, and by every now and then, I mean 3 out of 5 days a week, I wake up over here, my mouth guard is over there. So I've got to wash it quite frequently, but I still rock it out. This one is from Dentech. Now, you would think that a mouth guard would not be like a steep investment. It's like $30.
For that? You can put duct tape around your teeth, honey, for $1.50.
It's like $30. I mean, so, but listen, I it's worth it because ever since I started using the mouth guard, like, I'm still grinding, and there are still points. Yeah, I spit it out and I go to town. But I have woken up a couple of nights and I've been giving this motherfucker the business. Well, so without it, you know, I know that it's not. It's not fantastic. Yes, I have had to use that. It is a fucking lifesaver. Another thing that they don't tell you about, and you guys, you know what? Dolls, we are adults here. And so I feel like sometimes, you know, we get put in uncomfortable situations or things happen with our bodies and we don't like really discuss it because it's not like polite culture. But then you're like suffering alone in silence because no one ever tells you. So I will tell you this. When you quit smoking cigarettes, constipation becomes an issue. It just does. I do not know why. I'll overshare a little bit. I'm a regular girl. I go once, twice a day. It's fantastic and completely healthy. You are supposed to. Well, let me tell you what. Stop smoking. There'll be weeks I'll be like, Mocha, have you gone this week? I haven't. I have to remain regular. For me to stay healthy and happy, I need...
It makes your soul smile.
It makes my soul smile. So, yeah, you know what I did? I went down to the CVS. I got some daily fiber. I take about 5 in the morning.
Geez, is that recommended?
Yeah, so the recommended dose... The recommended dose is 5 capsules, right? Now, here's the thing. I told y'all I'm very regular. So that little 5 in the morning, now I will say there's like a burn-in period. I take 10 total a day. Now, let me tell you, you don't want to start with 10 a day. If you do, whatever happens is on you. But, you know, I started with my 5, and then I did that for a week, you know, and now I do 5 in the morning, 5 at night. And I am happy to report that, you know, better times, better days.
I'm back on schedule.
Yeah, I'm back on schedule. I don't know that I'm back on schedule, you know, but we're getting closer to the regularly scheduled broadcast because it was not... You know, you ever like, you get backed up and now you're in a bad mood. Like, you're just mad at every damn body. Like, ooh, shut up, I ain't shit out. Also, you guys, too, I am still living for loving the D-Manos. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was our very first or our second installment. I had found this and it works. You guys know I have a fussy urinary tract. She just... gets out of damn control, doing whatever the hell she wants.
Yelling at you. She's
acting
fussy.
Damn fool, you know, and I recommended the D-Manos because it really is one of the only products besides like straight up disgusting like cranberry juice, and not cranberry juice cocktail.
I like it.
Not cranberry juice cocktail. I'm talking about the stuff that comes in like a 1 liter bottle and it's warm and it's just, it works. But listen, D-Manos, let me tell you what, this is 500 milligrams. You take 3 in the morning when you wake up. It is still that bitch. I actually ran out of this and I let like a week or 2 lapse.
Yo, she started talking shit again.
Talking shit.
Being fussy.
Talking
complaining,
shit.
Whining.
Acting like I don't never do nothing for her.
You never take her out anymore.
Never take her out anymore. You know what? I'm gonna start taking her for a spin as soon as this quarantine is over. She gonna have to.
That's why she's fussy.
Get back in line, like, hey, little mama, back to the regularly scheduled broadcast. Anyway, it started because you know if you guys suffer for the same thing, you know that the shit'll keep you up at night. And I spent one night up 1 or 2 hours more than I needed to be. And I went my ass online and I found the biggest bottle.
Okay.
And so I am just going to remind myself every month, buy the biggest bottle. I will never go without again. again. So big up, get your T-Manos, y'all.
Okay, if you have a fussy urinating track too, she talking shit.
Yeah, get some T-Manos. You know, pee after intercourse, and then also get some T-Manos. Do what you gotta do. So y'all, are you ready for a story? I hope so. You guys, I'm super excited for this story because this is one of those stories that I can remember like first hearing about it way back when I had a Facebook. So, you know, dark times.
Long time ago.
Not to talk shit on Facebook. You know, here's my thing. Facebook is like for, you know, Facebook is and Twitter are different because Facebook is drama with, you know, people you might actually have to have Thanksgiving dinner with at some point.
Or you want the
high school or college, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Twitter, you can just turn those people off. Like Facebook, I gotta show up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the locals, the townies, right? And so I was just like, well, there's no reason these people need to know what I think. So I got rid of it. But long story short, it's, you know, I heard about this case a long time ago. Now, in researching this case, the first thing that I wanted to say is that the Wikipedia page on this case leaves much to be desired.
Oh, that's a lot
now
so frustrating.
Oh yeah. Well, I think there's more to it. So I remember hearing this story again about a year ago on My Favorite Murder. You guys know I love My Favorite Murder. And since then I've heard several sort of robust retellings of the story, including my most recent revisit when I listened to it on the Savannah Brimer channel. She does true crime. She has a channel on YouTube. I watched it just to, you know, start getting the facts down in my head.
Reintroduced to the story.
Yeah, so I remember Georgia, Karen, and Savannah's coverage of the case was like rich and filled with nuance and depth, and I was like really excited to start researching this case so I could add to like the already amazing, magnificent work that they had already done. Now, though there are new findings on this case, and I'm gonna be like super happy to share them, none of that is thanks to the Wikipedia page. It's almost as if the Wikipedia article on Kendrick was written to downplay the sense of foul play that this case has been fraught with since the very beginning. This, of course, is not the fault of the people over at Wikipedia as an organization, as those articles found there can be edited by its users, but it's definitely something to keep in mind, as it seems the authorities have a vested interest in the public believing that this case is nothing more than an accident. I find it coincidental at best and dubious at worst that the Wikipedia findings are anything but objective. The following was put together with the findings from All Things Interesting, Wikipedia, not much, the Savannah Brimer channel, and what I could recollect from this particular episode of My Favorite Murder. So this is the Kendrick Johnson case. So Kendrick Johnson was born October 10th, 1995. Libra in the house. All the Libras head to the comment section. Give some love. Yeah. His parents were Kenneth and Jackie Johnson. And his parents appeared to be doting and affectionate. His father was even quoted as saying that Kendrick was just the best son anyone could ask for. Kendrick attended Lowndes High School in Valdosta, Georgia. Now, some recollections of Kendrick was that he was outgoing and cordial. Others seemed to be of the opinion that he was more reserved. But ultimately, Kendrick seemed to be well regarded, right? I mean, no one had anything adverse to say about him, right? Now, it was rumored that Kendrick had a possible love interest, and that this love interest may have been seeing another boy at the school as well. Brandon and Brian Bell were students at Lowndes High School, and the sons of now retired FBI agent Rick Bell. Brian had gotten into a physical altercation with Kendrick on the school bus the year prior. It is speculated, but not confirmed, that Kendrick and Brian were seeing the same girl. So we've got Kendrick, there's Kendrick, there's Brian, and there's Brandon Bell, and their father is FBI agent Rick Bell, right? So, guys, on January 11, 2013, a life sports class was being hosted in the school's old gym of Lowndes High School. Remember, our school had something like that too. So when I say the old gym, remember our school had like a blue gym, and that was like an old rickety piece of crap. And then they had the gold gym, which was like the new gym, right?
We had all the assemblies.
Yes, where we showed the visitors and the guests, but what they didn't tell you is they had our asses shoved in the blue gym most of the time because they were trying to keep the like gold gym like fresh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they had sort of the same setup there. I also thought it's funny that they called the class life sports. At our class, it would have just been called gym. Gym 1.
Yeah.
Gym 2, right?
So happy I take that 1 year.
Right. So this class is being hosted there. And apparently inside the gym, there are wrestling mats rolled up in the corner. Stop looking.
No,
they stored.
I can't see it.
Oh yeah, you're blind. You can't see anyway. Look all you want. So they're wrestling mats, and they store them in the corner vertically. So just imagine like several Twinkies stacked up in a corner with like with like hollow center, right? Just so you could have official reference. Now, official statements point out that the kids often place their shoes by or inside the wrestling mats when they don't want to pay for a locker. Now, when I first kept hearing about them putting their shoes by the wrestling mats, it really bothered me. I've even highlighted the next section because I was like, in my mind, I was just thinking, well, when you go to gym, you have to dress out. That's what they make. I think it's every, chubby sophomore's nightmare to have to go to a locker room and get completely naked in front of all of these other people that they may or may not like. But it's just like a high school rite of passage. So I remember that very distinctly, which is weird now because I go to the gym now and I'm like, psh, psh,
like, oh.
And someone stares and I'm like, what? But back then it was like mortifying, right? So I was like, why don't they have to do that? Well, apparently, for some reason, their lockers are for pay. Like you have to buy the lockers, which we never had to do. I mean, hell, I didn't even want to be there. And now you're going to make me pay for a locker? Like, what's going on? So there's several reports stating that they put their shoes and their belongings by the gym mats or the wrestling mats when they don't want to pay for a locker.
They can't afford it.
Yeah, or they can't afford it, right? So class wraps and the students went to go gather their belongings. Now, it said that the students climbed on top of the cluster of gym mats, as was, I guess, customary. Really weird, right? That's when one of the students says that there was a pair of feet sticking out of the wrestling mats. Now, their gym teacher drugged the mat to the middle of the gym and unrolled it, and it was then that the body of Kendrick Johnson was found. Kendrick had one arm stretched above his head and one arm like down by his waist as if he was reaching for something. Now, guys, there is a 6-hour delay between the time Kendrick's body is discovered and the police are contacted.
Oh, jeez.
6 hours. His mother is already at the school putting up missing persons posters because Kendrick didn't come home the day before on the 10th. So she's already at the school.
Yeah.
Now, it was determined pretty quickly that the cause of death was positional asphyxia. Hope I'm saying that right, but I guess it's like when you get into a certain position, you can't breathe anymore, and that's how you die. Right? So you just die from being in a uncomfortable or a weird position, right? It was concluded that Kendrick had dropped his shoes into the mats and then suffocated when he was trying to retrieve them. Now, if it sounds ridiculous, it's because it is kind of ridiculous. And Kendrick's parents almost immediately suspect foul play. Now, it must be noted here that this is in the South, this is in Georgia, and not every place in Georgia is Atlanta. Very forward thinking. There are definitely places in Georgia where the racial tensions are prevalent. This is said to be one of those places.
Okay.
So Kendrick's parents almost immediately suspect foul play. An initial issue with this theory is that Kendrick's shoulders are 19 inches across. When rolled up, the mat hole is only 14 inches in diameter. Also, Kendrick is 5'10", and the mat itself is only 6 feet tall. So this entire debacle is pretty aerodynamically impossible.
Yeah.
There are even photos of Kendrick's father demonstrating with the mat that Kendrick's body couldn't have just accidentally tumbled into the hole. It would be an impossibility.
Yeah.
Now, Kendrick had been deceased an entire day and his body upside down. This means that all the blood would have rushed to his head and eventually started to secrete from openings in his mouth, his nose, the corner of his eyes, right? But for some reason, the shoes that he was allegedly reaching for had no blood on them. So they were lying on top of the pool of blood, but they weren't covered in blood in any way, and that's just not the way that gravity works. A hoodie and a pair of orange and black gym shoes were also found lying on the floor of the gym, and they were covered in traces of blood, as well as a wall nearby. Now, investigators tested the blood, which revealed that it didn't belong to Kendrick. They also reported that the blood had likely been there a very long time. So taking the fact that the blood didn't belong to Kendrick and it had been there forever, did they do the right thing and have it tested and track down who it belonged to? No. They didn't even take the hoodie and the orange and black shoes into evidence.
Why?
No. They didn't even take it into evidence, and they completely disregarded the blood matter that was there. So it gets a little bit worse because the most suspicious thing to catch my eye was the security footage. Now, kids these days are basically filmed from the minute they hit campus till the minute that they leave.
Yeah.
And the Lowndes High School was no different. There was security footage from the day of the incident. Even better, the types of cameras used were the kinds that start recording whenever they sense motion.
Okay.
Right? And the old gym offered 4 different angles of footage. If anything was to be seen, it should have been captured by these cameras. Now, a forensic analyst enlisted by CNN found the tapes from 2 cameras are missing an hour and 5 minutes of footage, while another set was missing 2 hours and 10 minutes of footage. Now, this next quote is from the Valdosta Daily Times, and I would consider the source because if there is a conspiracy or a cover-up of some sort, there is no reason to believe that a small press would be in on it as well, right? When you typically have smaller towns, smaller people of influence, tighter knit circles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? So the ability for corruption is definitely there.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that someone who has a vested interest in making the public think that this happened one way goes to church or is on the deacon board or something.
Or probably on the damn sheriff's office.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, works there. So this next quote comes from the Valdosta Daily Times, where it says, some of the apparent lapses in coverage were found to result from camera systems that were not synchronized with one another. Timestamps between some separate camera systems differed by as much as 20 minutes for the same period, giving the impression of a gap for portions of the footage where no gap existed. Other missing footage was the result of the camera's motion-activated function not being triggered. Camera systems were motion-activated using a change in light pixels to turn recordings on and off. The area where Johnson's body was discovered, where the gym mats were located, was outside of range for their surveillance cameras. Right? So the family does what I think any responsible, loving set of parents would do. They file a wrongful death suit. And they are granted permission to have the body exhumed. Now, I didn't know that you had to have permission to have your family member's body exhumed, so that was an interesting piece of information there. Hey. Now, they have a second autopsy done by a private pathologist.
Good.
And upon inspection, it was discovered that Kendrick's organs had been removed and replaced with newspaper. Right?
Oh, my.
Now, when the Johnsons questioned the funeral home about it, the funeral home rebutted that the body had arrived to them without its organs already. Now,
you're gonna make note of it?
Well, yeah, and they said it's not exactly uncommon for bodies to be stuffed with newspaper, but usually that happens at the funeral home, not before the body even gets there. Also, removing organs apparently makes time of death and other vital information harder to determine. You know what I'm saying? So, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, the GBI, claimed that when the body was sent to the funeral home after the first autopsy, Johnson's organs had been put back inside of the body. However, the coroner said that these organs were not sent to the funeral home because they were too decomposed and were instead disposed of beforehand. Now, the Johnsons tried to sue the funeral home, but the case was eventually dropped. And the new findings did, however, implicate suspicious activity. So the case was then put under a formal review process.
Okay.
Now, this next piece comes from an All Things Interesting article I read online. One of the coroners...
that's the name of All Things Interesting?
All Things Interesting,
okay.
Yeah. One of the coroner's reports on Kendrick Johnson's autopsy, in the description of circumstances, the coroner noted how Kendrick Johnson's body had been noticeably moved when they got to the scene of the, I want to say crime, but I guess officially I have to say accident. When they got to the scene of the accident, the body had been noticeably moved, and that there was no cooperation from law enforcement at the scene. Yeah. Still, nothing ever came of the case, and it has been ruled an accidental death. In 2014, Kendrick Johnson's parents filed a wrongful death suit against the school's officials, alleging that Johnson had been harassed by a white student, which went neglected by the school, perhaps due to his race. Ebony.com described the murder of Johnson to have been at the hands of two white brothers, though they did not include names. So you remember at the beginning of the story, we've got Brandon Bell and Brian Bell and their father, who's an FBI agent. Well, Ebony.com profiled this story, and they did a story on it, and they described, what happened. The descriptions of the brothers closely resembled that of Brian and Brandon, who the magazine claimed had killed Kendrick because of a fight they had over a year ago, which had escalated.
Oh, gosh.
Now, the Johnsons also accused the brothers' FBI father of covering up the murder by manipulating the school and authorities involved in investigating Johnson's death.
Believe them.
So, things at this point did not go well for the Johnson family. Ebony, the magazine, ended up being sued for, I think, the sum of $5 million for framing their story in such a way where the Bell brothers were implicated. The Johnson family, they won that case, by the way. The Johnson family has even been sued and ordered to pay out hefty damages to folks who have taken them to court for implying their guilt or association to the case. I think all in total, the Johnsons have been ordered to pay $300,000 in legal fees to people who have taken them.
Look, girl, I ain't got it.
I don't have it.
I ain't got it, y'all.
I absolutely don't have it.
I'm about to file for, what was it?
Bankruptcy, exactly.
Honey,
when I got it, you'll be the first one to get it.
Maybe.
I'm never going to have it, though. So, guys, in June 2018, Kendrick's body was exhumed for a second time, and a third autopsy was performed. The findings of the second autopsy, that Johnson's death was not accidental and caused by blunt force trauma, likely due to being struck in the neck with a 45-pound dumbbell, were confirmed. Kendrick's parents hope that with these results of the third autopsy, their surveillance footage, which they were convinced had been tampered with, and the mishandling of evidence at the scene would be enough to reopen their son's case. As of March 2021, the case has officially been reopened. According to the Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Polk, if there's questions, and they are legitimate, I need to know the answers myself. The only way I'm going to know is to look at the evidence myself. Polk and his team were able to secure a wealth of evidence from the federal authorities, in part thanks to an appeal from the Johnson family in November of 2020. Now the sheriffs have enough evidence in hand to perhaps allow them to solve the mysteries once and for all. Though Polk said the investigation may take up to 6 months, both he and Johnson's family are optimistic that justice will be served.
Yes, I hope so.
Here's the thing. I hope so as well. This is a case that's gone on for years, and it obviously made an impression on me because I can remember it back from the first time I was, scrolling my Facebook feed, and
what the hell?
I was like, what is going on? And the crazy thing about this case is I believe in things happening by accident, right? I don't believe in 5 accidents happening all at once.
Yeah.
Right? Once is a coincidence, twice is
suspicious.
Twice is suspicious, and we have, the footage all of a sudden coming up and missing.
That's
him getting in fights with Brian and Brandon the year prior. His father, their
father
happened to be, their father, don't we know people? Their father just happening to be a part of the FBI. No participation from the police at the scene of the crime reported by the coroner. Blood material being at the scene of the crime or scene of the accident. I don't want to get sued. Scene of the accident at the time, right? And then
the missing organs.
Yeah, the missing organ. It's too much. It's too much for me to sing coincidence.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that, the team and the Johnson family are able to get some rest and actually put this to bed and figure out what's going on.
I hope the Johnsons start suing people and they get that money.
Well, so here's the thing. The Johnsons, the Johnsons sue now.
Do they? So they get money
No,
back.
they just keep losing their cases.
That's so effed up.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to owe that much money. I want them to win.
So they can get out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with those civil cases, but hopefully they're going to get a little bit of relief as far as maybe we'll see some criminal proceedings.
I hope so.
Some justice
I hope they bring
Kendrick.
those Bell brothers to jail and the damn dad.
Well, we can't. We don't want to get sued, girl. We can't confirm. We can't confirm that the Bells had anything to do with it, but it would indicate something's going on.
Yeah, something happened.
All that footage doesn't go missing. Organs don't go missing. Blood material's not at the scene, and then we don't test it, and all of this stuff.
And you can't even fit in a tube that you can't fit in.
Correct. Right. I mean, the opening's not wide enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. We really, really appreciate you. We hope that you like these stories.
Yes.
Keep putting your ideas for stories down in the comment section. Your ideas always give us a breathing life.
Yes, I love it.
Mocha, did you have anything to add?
Get my damn book.
Oh, yeah. Your book is still doing well, yeah. Get my damn book.
Give it a cheeky look at it.
Yeah, plug it. What's the name of it?
The One That Got Away. My short story, Lexon. And, if you read it and you like, give it a review.
Where can people get it from?
On Amazon. There's going to be a link down. Everything that we talk about, I always forget to say this, but everything that we talk about is going to be linked in the description box.
Perfect. All right, well, you know what, dolls? We are going to head out of here. Hope that you have a fantastic week or rest of your week or night. Hope we were able to keep you company. And you know what? Just remember, life's a blush. And then you die.